Hey team, hope you're all doing well. Sarah here from Fingering Support Team, and today we'll show you how to create a form from scratch. So the first thing you can do once you're in the portal, you can go to the forms page and you'll see an option on the top right of the page, top right corner of the page to add a form. So you click on that and there will be a drop down. So you'll see an option here, consent. So if you're making just like a consent form, purely consent form, you can click on this. But if you're making like an intake form with medical history, etc., you can click on this one, intake and consent. Okay, so once we're able to add the form, the first thing you'll see right on the top of the page is the form name. So over here, we just have a default form name, patient intake and consent. We can easily modify this, of course, and I'm just modifying my form to be just an intake form. Right beside it, there's an option to add form description. So it's easier for you to distinguish forms in the portal if you have form description. So I'm adding a bit of a description on my form. So for mobile care patients only, like that. And right below it, you'll see the theme section. So over here, this is the section, of course, where you'll select the theme that you'd like for the form. So if you have multiple themes, you can select over here. You can just scroll, but I'm sticking to just the plastic marine theme. And next we have the welcome screen. So the welcome screen is actually the first page or the first screen that your patients or clients will see once they open the form. So if you'd like to change the background image, over here we just have the standard trees background image. But if you'd like to change it to your logo or to a different background image, you can do so. But I'm changing mine to a mountain background image. The hello text can also be changed. You can change it to welcome or to other text that you'd like to have. But I'm sticking to just the hello. This part is the welcome text. You can welcome your patients with this. I am changing this though to this welcome text, and you can customize your own. I'm changing mine to welcome to Finger Ink. There we go. And okay, need to know a little about you before we can help. Please take a few moments to carefully read through the following information before signing. Okay, perfect. Okay, so once we're good with this, we're going to proceed now with the contents of the form. So as you can see, the form already has standard screens. So when you add a form like what we did earlier, it's going to be equipped already with standard screens. And all you need to do actually is to just filter the ones that you don't need. You can delete them or you can modify them. So that's what we're going to do. First, I'm changing the section title from identity to personal details, like so. I'm also going to remove the periods, the symbols, so because it looks cleaner that way. That way your form looks uniform. I'm also going to keep this as is and go with this, and also good with the gender question. So as you can see, some of the fields are required. So your patients or clients are required to answer them. Some are don't, like this one, the occupation. So I'm putting this as required. You can keep it as is if you want, but in my form, I'm just putting it as required. Same goes with the email address question, putting it as required. For the enter your phone number, I'm only going to put the mobile phone as a required. The rest can be optional. So for the address question, I need the postcode to be required. There we go. Emergency contact. If you feel like this particular screen or this screen is not needed in your form, you can delete it. You can click on this, delete screen. Or for example, if you don't need this particular field in your screen, you can delete fields as well, like individual fields, like so. But here I'm going to keep the emergency contact question, but I'm putting that as required. This is an automated reminder question. So how would you like to be reminded for future appointments? I can delete this if I feel like I don't need it in my form. Also changing this one. There we go. Changing the section title to just referral. How are you referred here? This one I'm keeping it as is. Who should we send invoices to? I'm going to delete this. Okay, since my form is just an intake form, I'm going to delete this entire section for consent. There. And I'll need an extra section for medical history. So I'm going to create a section. So I added the section like so. I selected add a section. So there we go. Medical history. So if you have questions for medical history in your form, you can add it here. Okay, so now that we're able to add the medical history section, we're now ready to add the contents. So I'd like to start by adding like an information or instruction screen. So about this section, just so the patients, would have an idea of what they can expect from this section, from the medical history section. And here we'll be using display only text field. So I'm adding this text in. This section pertains to your medical history and will help us form picture of your overall health history. Please provide as much information as possible prior to your initial assessment. There we go. We're adding a question screen. so we can actually add questions to this section. So how would you best describe your symptoms? I'm changing the field prompt over here to symptoms description, removing the placeholder, and changing the field type from single line to multi-line text, just so the patients can add more text in this field. So I'm also putting this question or this field as required. Next is you need to add a body chart question. So where on your body are the symptoms located? So from single line text, I'm changing this to a body chart text. So there we go. If you have a body chart image on file, you can upload this to your form like so, like what I've done. And then I'll be putting this as required. There we go. So next question, let's add another question screen. What is the level of your pain? Then I'm adding a sub-prompt statement over here. So sub-prompts actually, they provide extra information or instructions to a particular screen. So over here, it's please rate on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being no pain and 10 being the worst pain possible. So, and then changing as well the field prompt to level of pain. Also changing the single line text field, the field type to an option type of field. So here we have 3 field types for options. We have select one option only by buttons, select one option only via scroll. We need the scroll format. We also have the select one or more options via button. So if the patients can select more than one, you can use this type of field type. But over here, since it's a rating type of question, so the patients can only select one. So I'm putting that is required as well, and we'll be putting the options now. Okay. So it's 1 to 10, 1 being no pain and 10 being the worst pain. Saving the options. Okay. Okay, so next question is still about the pain. What type of pain do you experience? So changing the field prompt to type of pain, putting it as required. Changing the field type from single line text to an option type of field type. So over here, we'll be using select one or more options, just so if they're experiencing more than one type of pain, they can choose from the options. Okay, so these are all the options for the types of pain. And also, there's an easy option to add the other option over here. So you can toggle this button and it's going to automatically add that other option. So if the patients did not find the answers or the type of pain from the options, they can select other, and this field, extra field over here will pop out, and they can type in the type of pain that they're experiencing. Okay, so next, let's add another question screen. Which activities do your pain or symptoms interfere? So changing the field prompt to activities and changing the field type from single line to options again. And it's still going to be the select one or more options by buttons. And typing the options, selecting or including the other option, just toggling that button right there. And there we go, putting that as required. Okay. Okay, next up. So this is regarding if they have any hereditary illnesses or health conditions, both them and their families. So changing the field type again, the field prompt, and the field type to from single line to multi-line text, so they can put more info in that field, putting it as required. Or you know what, we'll put it as optional, and just in case it's not applicable for them, they can skip, they can click on this not applicable button, skip button. Okay, I've also put in placeholder fields, just so they have an idea of what to put. This is just an example. There we go. Next, I'd like to ask if they're taking any medications currently. It's a very important question to ask. So are you currently taking any medications? And then changing the field type from single line to options again. And this time it's going to be select one option only, because this question is a yes or no question. Saving the options and putting it as required. And adding an extra field below for a list of medications. Okay. Removing the placeholder, putting it as required, and setting a visibility condition. So I've clicked on this I button beside the field prompt, and I'm selecting from the drop down only show field during form filling when, and then select medications, and select the field that you're going to work with is, and then select the answer yes. So over here, the visibility condition basically says that this field will appear only if medications is yes. If it's no, then it's going to proceed to the next screen. Okay, so next up, we have herbs or supplements. Actually, um, for this second question, for this next question that we have, since it's quite similar to this question, what we can do to make things faster is we can duplicate the screen, like so, and then we can just change the parts that are different. So here, we're changing the field prompt, herbs and supplements, still the same, yes or no, and then list of herbs or supplements here. And also, of course, we'll be changing the visibility condition to herbs or supplements is yes. So it's basically almost similar, but not entirely the same. Okay, and same goes with the next question. So this next question is a do you have any allergies? So here I'm just changing the field prompt to allergies. I will be changing the field prompt on the next field to please specify. Putting the question, visibility condition to allergies is yes. Okay, there we go. And here we go. We now have a whole new question just by duplicating the previous screen. So it's faster, it's easier, and it's more efficient that way. So have you had any operations or surgery? Same goes with what we did earlier. We duplicated the screen, changing the field prompt to operations or surgeries, yes or no. Then please specify. Still the same. Changing the visibility condition over here, saving that. Now have that question solved. Okay, next question. This one I'm adding a question screen because it's not a yes or no question anymore, but we're actually I'm close to the end of the form, so I'm just adding a please note here. Anything you think the doctor should know that has not been covered by the previous questions. I'm adding here, removing the placeholders, changing the field prompt to multi-line text. Okay, and then putting it as optional, and then just changing the skip button, customizing the skip button rather. Okay, so I think we are all good. Let me just check this part. The acceptance section can also be modified. You can change this text over here. You can put like a thank you message, but I'm going to keep it as is. You can change this confirm button to submit. If you need to add extra signatures, by default, we have the first and last name for the signatures. So the patient's name would appear over here. But if you need additional signatures, like for example, if you need parents or guardian signature to appear here, you can add signatures with their name in. Or if the practitioner signature is also needed, you can add that in as well. But over here, you just need the first and last name. I think we're all good. Okay, so we're basically done, but just in case if you need to add concession types, custom patient fields, or consent fields to your form, you can easily do that to your fingering form, and I'll show you how it's done. So for concession types and custom patient fields, we can add them under the referral source or referral section. So let's just click on that plus button, add a question screen, and then change the screen title to do you have any concessions? I'll be changing the field prompt to concessions and the field type to concession type, like so. And there we go. That's how easy you can add your concession types to your form. As long as you have them set up to your Cliniko account, it's just easy to add them to your fingering form. They should sync up with no problem. Same goes with your custom patient fields. So it's the same thing. If you type in custom, you should see all the custom patient fields available for you to use. These, however, are our own custom patient fields that we have in our account. You should see a different set depending on what you have set up on your own Cliniko account. You can add as many custom patient fields as you want, and they should sync up to your fingering account with no problem, and you should see them on this list after. So once you have them added, you can select and click on this green button, and you should see them added with no trouble. I'll be deleting these, however, because I won't be needing concessions or custom patient fields on this form, but let's move on to consent. Now for consent, we do have two different types of consent fields. We do have a privacy policy consent and a regular policy consent. Now, if you do have privacy policy consent, we do strongly recommend for you to use this specific one because this is a special field type because it links directly to the patient record in Cliniko. So, for example, if the patient selects I do not accept in the form, you should see it red flagged in the patient record in Cliniko, unlike if you use just a regular policy consent. So that's it. That's how you use consent fields, and you can add your consent details over here. And that's it. Once you're done, though, you can actually save changes. Once you're able to save changes, you can choose how you want to publish the form. You can choose to publish on the app, or on the web. I'm choosing to do both and then click publish now, and that's it. This is the link that you can send to your patients, or that you can link to your appointment reminder templates in Cliniko, so you can send this form link to your patients automatically. More on that on different articles. But thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions or need further explanations on any of the things we discussed, feel free to chat with us or email at support@fingering.com. Till next time.